Hello to all my Ghostface killers. My name is EJ Marino and welcome to my channel. I am so excited for this video. We're going to be diving into the new Scream film, Scream 5, Scream 2022, Scream the Requel. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this in full spoiler discussion. So if you've not seen the movie yet, make sure you head over to my other channel, Flickering Myth. You can see it up here and check the video out. I do a full spoiler-free, breakdown and get into the film without discussing all the crazy goodness, like who the killer is, who dies. I will be talking about that in this video. So again, if you have not seen it, make sure you check out my other video. But if you have seen Scream, or if you just want to know some spoilers, well, welcome to my channel and let's get into this wild-ass slasher movie. So in this video, my intent is to break down the 5 major spoilers. There is a lot to discuss in this film, so while I may be leaving some of your favorite stuff out, I've pinpointed 5 of the major talking points. But again, there is so much goodness. There is the kills, the quotes, the weird fun shoutouts to YouTube channels like Dead Meat. I loved seeing how detailed and how really fun and just self-referential and self-aware and meta and all those words that this film could be, but at the same time, it was a gory, graphic kill. I mean, the one scene where Hicks gets killed, which is Officer Judy's son, when it just gets shoved into his face, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like seriously, this is so good. If you were just watching this video and not trying to experience Scream, I don't know how I feel about that. I definitely want you all to watch this film. It is so worth the viewing if you're a Scream fan. But let's get into the major talking points, because first up, we have a crazy part. The first major spoiler on my list is the fact that Billy Loomis has a daughter. Huh? What? Huh? Yeah, I guess he was, it's Skeet Ulrich, he was pretty fine, so I guess he was slinging that D around in school and got another girl pregnant. We sadly don't get to see who played the mother here. I don't know what that means, or will we ever see who the mother is? Does it really matter? Like, who cares? But it was a strange bit of a, oh, that's here. I don't know. I guess I had a stranger thing where I was just like, I really wanted Stu to be alive, Stu Macher, who was the one of the other killers with Billy Loomis. So that was my weird, fun idea. That never ended up happening, so they did another weird route where they're like, and Billy Loomis has a daughter that we never knew about. Oh, okay. I'm not super upset about this. I believe the Sam Carpenter character, who I guess is Sam Loomis, played by Melissa Barrera, I think her name is. I always forget her full name. But yeah, she is good in the film. Not my favorite character. And this whole Billy Loomis thing, there's a lot to this where I thought it was used okay. I don't know. I don't really fully connect with the Billy Loomis daughter thing, because I do feel that her sister Tara was fighting for the star of the film, and she doesn't really have the Billy Loomis connection, so I was a bit conflicted here. I thought it was presented as best as it could be. There could have been worse routes they went, and that could have been a lot cringier. There was something I don't like, which will be my number 2, but yeah, I thought this was handled as best as it could. I thought it was good to shift away from Sidney and just pure on revenge for her, because truly, who is left to hate on Sidney? So I definitely thought that was really interesting, and with the killer's motives of trying to kind of bring the franchise back to its roots and make it for the fans. We'll talk about the toxic fandom and the killers in a bit. So yeah, I thought this was an okay reveal. It wasn't my favorite part of the film, but it wasn't as bad as my next entry. So number 2 on my list is the ghost of Billy Loomis. We had the daughter of Billy Loomis and the ghost of Billy Loomis. Yay, Skeet Ulrich is back in a phantom mirror ghost dude who comes to his daughter in stressed out situations. This was my least favorite part of the movie. I give this movie like a solid 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. I had a blasty blast with it. This is what knocks it down, that half a point, maybe that full point, because I'm like, really? Like, we had the daughter stuff and maybe one time in a dream sequence, much like Sidney had in Scream 3 with her weird ghost mom, a scene I don't love, but in retrospect, I would prefer that than weird-ass guy who's like, hey, daughter, I'm digitally de-aged in this scene. Let me talk to you in the mirror. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I didn't feel anything from this. Again, my theory of bringing back Stu is probably way crazier than the ghost Billy Loomis or a vision or a mental kind of thing. I thought this was, in theory, not the worst thing ever. It just definitely felt a bit not Screamish for me, and I don't want to sound like a purist or one of those fans that is the ones that they're calling out that, like, well, Scream wouldn't really do that. I don't really particularly care, and I'm not, like, stuck with anything. It just felt very out of place. Am I the only one who was a bit thrown off by the Ghost Billy stuff? Like, I want to know how you all feel. Were you connecting with it? Was it something you enjoyed? Or were you a bit like, what the hell is this? Next up, we have the major deaths of this film. There is, the regular newer cast getting killed. Nothing too shocking there. Definitely, there are some body bags to be filled. They have to fill them. But we lose two major characters. I almost just put one here, but we do lose two. First up, we lose Officer Judy Hicks, Sheriff Judy Hicks. Okay, yeah, her scene is probably the best thing. I wasn't emotionally connected to her. Scream 4 is one of my favorites of the franchise. The Judy Hicks character was okay, like save your, wear your vest, save your chest. I thought she was cool, the Lemon Square stuff. I do like that the Lemon Square gag was back here. And yeah, I thought her death was dramatic and fun, and it was a very entertaining scene. I wasn't as like, oh my goodness, as I think the movie wanted me to feel. But yeah, I definitely thought this was well played, especially the stuff with her son, where like he keeps opening doors and you keep waiting for the jump scare and the kill to be there, and it's just so good. This was a very well-directed scene. I think this is probably one of my favorite sequences of the whole film, with Judy racing home and then the door surprise, and oh my goodness, it was definitely a brutal moment. I think Marley Shelton played it really well. I think Dylan Minnette, I don't really know this actor. I don't know 13 Reasons Why. I'm so sorry. This is an actor. I definitely don't know this younger cast as much as I knew like the 90s younger cast. So I definitely felt a little old here. So that was really cool to see all the kid stuff. And, as much as I didn't know this character, I liked his character. Wes Hicks was really cool. And we got the 4 Wes shoutouts in the film. So this was okay. I definitely thought the death of Judy Hicks was a shock moment, but not as shocking. Okay, not as shocking as Dewey's, but I don't know. I kind of always expect Dewey to die. Like, I don't know. He's been stabbed 5 billion times. It's definitely one of those I'm too old for this shit kind of thing. And I thought his death was brutal and mean and crazy and shocking, and it really did send a shockwave throughout the rest of the film. I thought that was a very important moment to have, especially to elevate Gale and Sidney's stuff. I usually always complain about this, but sometimes we kill women characters to elevate the male character stories. It's called fridging a lot. Comic books do it a lot. Think of like Gwen Stacy with Spider-Man and things like that. Yeah, I thought this was a better version of it, where I was just like, Dewey is expendable, and I like him, and he's cool, and he adds something, but his character definitely felt like his arc was ready to go. He definitely was like 1 foot out the door, and I felt that with Dewey. I liked this moment. It was shocking, it was good, it was brutal. One of the best Ghostface kills of the whole film. Ghostface is brutal in this one. We're just ripping through, and oh my goodness, I was kind of taken back, but it's exactly what this movie needed to do. Next up is the killer reveal. We'll talk about the whole third act in the next segment, but the killers. Who are the killers of Scream 5? I kept waiting for it to be Stu. They kept mentioning him. That was my fan theory in my head. I felt like these crazy obsessed fans in this movie because I wanted it to be good. So let me get the names down. We have as the killers, it was Mikey Madison, who plays Amber Freeman. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as Sadie, one of the Manson cult people. And then we also had, who I predicted as soon as he was cast, it's Jack Quaid as Richie. Yeah, I expected Jack Quaid. I thought they were going to use the fact that he is known as such a good guy on The Boys, or at least goodish on that show where everyone's horrible and filthy. Yeah, I thought they were going to use that against him, where he's kind of this famous family kid, it's like Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son, he's so cute and charming, and they use that against us in the film. But bitch, I knew. It's always the boy. It's always the partner. It's always a dude. Like, I definitely expected him, and I thought that was kind of the only moment. I don't want to say I was let down, because I do think he was performed very well. I do think the reveal was fun, but I was just expecting a complete gag. Oh wow. I think Mikey Madison's character Ammar, that was the surprise, and she played psychotic crazily. I loved her. When she turned it on, it reminded me of a bit of Emma Roberts in Scream 4. When she turned it on, and I was like, yes, get into psycho bitch mode. I liked all of the girls. I thought anyone could have been, the two twins with Mason Gooding and his sister Jasmin Savoy Brown, I believe her. Yes, playing Mindy and what was his name? Mindy and what was the other Meeks kid? Oh my goodness, Mindy and Chad. I had to look all over my list of actors in this. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this one. So yeah, I definitely like the twins. I thought maybe they could be the killers. That could be really fun. There was a lot of fun twist routes they could have went. They went a fairly safe route, not the worst route, but a pretty safe route with the killers here. So this segment is dedicated to the crazy ass final act, from people getting lit on fire to like a crazy death stab where we saw the daughter of Billy Loomis really tap into that serial killer side. Oh my goodness, I was very much blown away by this. I was a bit, okay, I thought they maybe didn't use Gale and Sidney to their most of their abilities. I definitely thought Sidney, again, getting beat up in a kitchen. We saw it in Scream 1, we saw it in Scream 4, now we see it again in this film. Yeah, Sidney, girl, my house wouldn't have a kitchen. I would have like a little air fryer and like a little stovetop right individual one. I don't want to see a kitchen if I was Sidney. Bad things keep happening. Yeah, I thought this reveal, this also, that we kind of pull out to a moment where I didn't really put the layout of the house together, and maybe I missed it in the marketing, but I did not know we were at Stu's house in this final act, so that was a fun reveal. I thought that was really cool, that it almost felt like they kept capturing close images of people in the house, so we really couldn't put together who lived there, and then we found out who it was, and then we kind of find out the killers and their motivation of why they met, and that they were fans of it, and they wanted to bring the franchise back to what it was, because the stab movies have lost their way. The 8th stab is probably the worst one that they said, and yeah, it's just one of those toxic fandom things. They meet on Reddit, and they kind of go from there, and they want to redo the horror of Scream and bring it back to its roots. Thought that was an interesting plot. It worked well here. It just made the whole third act a bit more entertaining. Even though I was expecting the killer reveals to happen, it wasn't the biggest gag or shock. I thought it was handled very well, and it was executed in a fun, wild, crazy finale. So that is it for my 5 major spoilers from the new Scream film. I wanted to just get these conversations out because, I don't know, I like to talk about stuff in great, crazy detail with people, and I don't really get to in my kind of more spoiler-free discussion. So on this channel, I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to just spoil the shit out of stuff in the comments. Don't share this with people who haven't seen it, and don't try to leak any of these things. If people don't want to hear leaks, don't go on Twitter and say stuff. Just let people entertain themselves with this fun movie. Don't go out and be a douchebag, or Ghostface will kill you. That's how this should go. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me for my spoiler discussion of Scream. Thank you all. This was a fun, crazy movie to get into. There's so much more I missed. If I missed a favorite part of this movie for you, let me know down in the comments below. Also, subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. All right, everyone, let's talk about Scream and all the spoilery goodness down below.